And a big good morning to you guys out there. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning. You're listening to Rhema CC. I'm Lindy Jones, your Sunday morning host. And we were just listening, as I said, to Only You by Shine Bright. And only you are important, every one of you, every single one of you are very, very important. I actually have someone incredibly important in front of me today. Guys, I spoke to you last week about the month of August and how I really felt like God was just stirring this need to really celebrate life and celebrate the fact that He has given us life and all things life. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about purposeful living and what that looks like. Last week, we sort of just threw around a few ideas about what life actually is meant to entail. The fact that Jesus Himself says that we are, that He is the bread of life, and that if we need those general sustenance things, we can look to Him for the everyday stuff. And so this week I've got an extra special guest, as I said, Georgia with me. And Georgia she's a warrior, let's just say that. I've known Georgia probably for close to 10 years, beginning about 9.5 or something. And yeah, she's one of these ladies who she's amazing. She's been through a lot of things, and I think just her willingness to come on here this morning to share with us a little bit about her story, her journey at the moment, and where she's been is just so honourable. So let me just throw it over to you, Georgia. Can you just let us know, just tell us a bit about yourself. What's going on for you?
Let's see. Well, this is not a good place at the moment. This is what being close to passing looks like, vomit bags and, not being my usual glamorous self.
You're always beautiful.
Thank you. That's made me feel a lot better. And yes, I was diagnosed with cancer nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's metastasised now, so it's gone from my bowel to my lungs to my brain.
Right.
So if I don't make sense, sometimes you'll know why.
That's cool. We can roll with it.
But yes, I'm just trying to live my best life now, whatever comes.
So what is the best life at the moment for you?
The best life for me is having loved ones with me. Just getting a lovely little notes and messages.
Yeah, beautiful. So simple
really
things,
lovely.
It sounds
yes,
like.
all the simple things.
Yeah, I think that's really special, and I think that's often the reminder we need is just to go, what really matters.
Yes.
So your story right now, and I think this is one of the things I've been thinking about and sort of talking to the listeners out there in the last, pretty much since I started, I've tried to emphasise the importance of life and how beautiful it is to be, given life. But certainly when you're looking at your situation, it's a case of you really get it. You're in a position where it is the simple things. It's the simplicity of it. So.
And it's also a matter of acceptance. That is the biggest thing, I think.
Okay.
I mean, you have to have your faith, which I do.
Yeah.
And, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away.
True. Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not fearful.
Good.
At all.
Yeah, great.
What I'm sad about is leaving behind the people I love.
Yeah.
But then, that'll just be a distant memory for them one day too.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
As we go along.
Yeah. Well, as I drove, I'm actually recording at the moment from Georgia's bedroom. So I'm in her bedroom with her, just chatting to her about things while she's laying in her bed. Thankfully, she looks quite comfortable. But as she said, she's got a vomit bag there just in case, to see how she goes. But yeah, it's one of those things. I looked at the water as I was driving through here, and I thought, there's Georgia. Because Georgia, if I think of Georgia, I just see her driving her car towards the water. So it's funny how those things, you just kind of retain those little memories and sort of certain things sort of trigger thoughts of, where things are.
It's funny you think that, because that's where we're both going.
Yeah,
both of us, including this little guy.
No, he's very cute. She's holding a little,
It's Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. So she's been Mr. Bean.
26 years I've had him.
No way. That's amazing.
Yes, 26
Wow.
years. Still got both his eyes.
Yeah.
Obviously hasn't been anywhere near your children.
That is very true. He survived. Guys, we're going to leave it there for a little bit, but I just want to encourage you to stick with us this morning. George has willingly, I can't even say the word, come along, agreed to sort of allow us to have some insight into where she's at the moment, She's looking at, have they given you an idea of, in terms of time-wise, what they're looking at?
Yes, well, not much.
Okay.
That's why I said to you today,
Yep, come over
Get-
this way. Yep.
get over here as soon as you can,
Yeah.
because I don't know, only God knows these things.
Absolutely.
And I'll just wait
Yep. Yep.
and see.
Waiting. Yep. All right, guys. We're going to take a bit of a break. Enjoy this song. We'll be back to talk a little bit more to Georgia about the big, deep stuff and how to... Now she's got a look on her face like, uh-oh. We'll be back soon. And welcome back, hosties. It is awesome again to have you here on this Sunday morning. That was Anywhere With You by Matt Kearney. I'm Lindy. I'm your Sunday morning host here at Rhema CC, and I have got an incredibly special guest with me this morning. Georgia is a personal friend of mine, and Georgia willingly put her hand up this afternoon, well, this morning actually, but this afternoon, I'm actually, as I mentioned previously, I'm pre-recording this in her bedroom with her. She's been about 2 years, you said, was diagnosis. So she's been struggling with a diagnosis that's terminal illness. So is it cancer itself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And she is obviously not in a place where she can be up dancing around and being her usual self. But she's thankfully opened up her life to us in a very vulnerable way. I can't talk today.
But it's confronting for everybody, isn't it, really?
Well, it can be.
Even for you too.
Yeah, well, it can be. I can't talk normally anyway.
But it makes us think of our own mortality, I think, this subject.
It's the reality, absolutely.
Yes.
So we're talking life, the sanctity of life, the valuable, aspect of life, and Georgia has some serious wisdom in obviously she's been dealing with the reality of it for a couple of years herself, and you've been through a fair bit of loss in your own life, haven't you?
I have, which is why I think this is so unfair, but anyway, there we are, God knows best.
Yep, absolutely, and I think it's honest to say this is how I feel.
That's true, yes.
So, Georgia, I've got a few questions for you specifically in regards to stuff. Okay, so what would you say has been the hardest thing about dealing with a terminal illness yourself?
I would say it's because I've always been very independent.
Yep.
It's being dependent on others.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not used to that.
Yep.
And I don't like it.
Yep.
I've accepted that that's the way it is, but I still don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So going out with a fight. Yeah.
But I just have to accept that
this is just how it is.
that's how it is, and I just have to run with it.
Yeah.
Well, if I could run, I would, but
you are.
I just have to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you know this lady, she is a warrior, like I said before. So that's is huge, I think. Just being able to surrender all that stuff to God, to go, I've got no control.
I can't do anything now.
Yeah.
So I've just handed it all over.
Yeah, that's great. Not great for us, but I think that to get to that place where
it gives you, calmness and
good
tranquility.
Stuff. Good. Now, more along the line, I'm trying to think of the best questions to kind of ask.
Just ask them all.
Okay, I can do that.
They don't have to be good.
What does preparing to say goodbye look like from your perspective?
It's difficult.
Yep.
Every time somebody comes, I think, is this the last goodbye? Because I don't know. My sister's on holidays, but she's cutting it short to come back and spend some days with me shortly. And I thought we had just said our last goodbye a couple of weeks ago, but that was floods of tears and whatever. But no, I'm still here and she's coming back.
Yeah, right.
And I hope to still be here when she does.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't guarantee that either.
It must be a really weird place to be.
It
is.
To
not know where you kind of fit.
It is.
So,
especially for someone who's always been in control, it's difficult.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
We don't realise how much control actually controls us until we're forced to go.
This is true. Sit back. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask one more question in this little section, then we'll take a break.
Right.
What have you learnt personally through the hardships and goodbyes that you've already experienced in your life? So even like obviously grief has been a big part of your life in a lot of aspects as well. What sort of things would you say that you've learnt personally through them?
What I've learnt is that these people have been incredibly brave, and I think that they were probably much more brave than I will ever be.
Yeah.
That's what I did learn.
Wow.
because when it comes to tin tacks, I really don't think I'm terribly, terribly brave.
Oh, I think you are, but yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. And I think that's the thing too, isn't it? You don't realise, we often don't realise what other people are going through until we're kind of like, oh, this is what this is about. So we certainly have, I mentioned this last week, guys, but I was talking about how testimony and just being raw and vulnerable with people is so powerful. And Georgia, I just want to say thank you for being real with us today, because...
Oh, I couldn't be anything more than real.
Good.
What would be the point?
That's exactly it. Absolutely. Guys, we're going to take a bit of a break for now. We'll be back about 9:15ish, so I will see you then, and yeah, enjoy this song. See you soon, guys. Welcome back, guys. It is awesome you can be a part of what we have going on here at Rhema CC this morning. I've got Georgia with me. I'm Lindy. I'm your Sunday morning host. And as I said previously, I've got Georgia with me. Georgia is a pretty special lady. She's a personal friend of mine. She is, I've said it numerous times this morning, but she is a warrior. She's someone who has a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, a lot of experience, a lot of life experience. And she's sharing that with us today, guys. It's eye-opening, the stuff that she's sharing. Georgia's been battling with cancer herself for about 2 years, and I'm actually recording from her bedroom this morning. So it's not actually this morning as I'm recording, because it's a pre-record, but it's being aired this morning because the situation is basically she doesn't know how long she's got. She's kind of just laying around and just letting God do his thing. And yeah, so I'm so thankful you allowed us to just be a part of your world at the moment, because it must be a very surreal place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly somewhere I've never been before, and I don't think I'll be
that's
coming
true.
back to tell you anything more after this,
True.
Lindy.
That is very true. So
Or
you're
your
not
listeners.
scared at all, though, are you? You said you're not scared.
No, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
No.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling a bit bummed that my mother's in her 100th year.
Yeah, fair call.
And I've just turned 69, and it's like, how can this be right? And she
Yeah.
keeps saying to me, oh, I just want to die myself, and why can't it be me? Why does it have to be you?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I can
well, I
imagine.
can't answer that question,
No, that's
Mum.
very true. Yeah.
Go back to church.
Work it out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's actually interesting. Those words, go back to church. In terms of what would you say to people? What's important to you? What's important in life?
What's important in life is your good friends and your family.
Yeah.
If you're close to them,
Yeah.
they are the most important thing
Yeah.
in your whole life.
Yeah.
And they probably always have been.
Yeah.
I've always acknowledged that myself,
Yeah.
but I think it's a shame when you come to the end of your life and you only realise it then.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm glad that that has not been the case for me.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, guys. I think George's words of wisdom there is just so insightful, because we can get so caught up with career, we can get caught up with how the world perceives us, we can get caught up with, what the world sees. Money is a huge thing.
Lack of.
Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, the priorities and working out what they are. And I think what you have to offer here, Georgia, is just so insightful.
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Awesome insight. A few more questions for you. I'm going to flick through and see what I have. What have I written down? I kind of made a few notes before I came to see Georgia this afternoon, which is actually this morning for you guys who are listening to this. What would you say, okay, if someone's in your position, they've just received a diagnosis,
yes.
what would be the one message, or what sort of things would you like to say to them as in hope? And what sort of words of hope would you like to speak to them?
If it's at all possible, absolutely phone your partner, your husband,
Yeah.
a family member that you're close to, so you can share this
The journey.
really confronting journey
Yeah, sure.
with them, and don't ever just be told that by your bedside alone,
Yeah.
which I was
Yeah.
initially.
Okay. Yeah.
But luckily for me, I did have, people I could call on,
Yeah.
which made the burden a bit less for me.
Has
But
it been lonely?
I think, lonely is a very funny word, because you can be lonely in a crowd, can't you?
Yeah. Well, that's right too.
I've never really felt loneliness as such because I do enjoy my own company. I enjoyed it more when I could walk, but I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But no, well, sometimes I guess it can be a bit lonely, only because of the independence thing on other people.
Yeah.
And you can't just do the simplest thing like, I'll just clear that bench top off. I'm doing you now, I can't
Yeah, that's
speak.
all right. We can take turns.
I can't just walk over there and, water that flower.
Yeah,
Like that one, for instance.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah, confronting, frustrating,
It is, all of those words.
Yeah, okay. And that's what I think this is about. It's like the awareness of, okay, what is life like for someone who's staring
It's difficult.
right in the
I've
face?
got to tell you, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
When it's and I also think it's difficult for the people that love you because they're just watching
Well, that's right.
your
too.
decline before their very eyes, and
Nothing they can do to change it
no,
either.
and I don't like it myself.
Yeah.
But however, I'm still praying for that miracle.
Yeah.
Even this far down the road.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
it doesn't
still-
hurt anything, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm still praying.
Yeah. No, that's great. How can they then, if you're thinking of them, how could they prepare, do you think, for...
I don't think anyone can prepare for this ever, ever, ever. I myself was never prepared for the death of two husbands.
Yeah, sure.
Never could I ever have
Imagine
prepared
even.
myself
Yeah, that's right.
for being without them.
Yeah.
But there you are, decades down the track, and
Yeah, and that's the reality.
things change. And as I say, I've not forgotten them.
Yeah.
Not one iota.
Yeah.
But my life's moved on,
Yeah.
as everybody's does.
Yeah. And I've watched Georgia and the way that she's loved, and she's loved big, and she's loved, well, huge is another word for big, but the way that you have loved and so deeply,
Well,
that's
that's the only
beautiful.
way to love, don't you think?
Yeah,
If you're going to love
absolutely.
someone,
Yeah.
it's got to be 110%.
Well, that's exactly it.
Otherwise, what's the point of
Absolutely.
that either?
Yeah. I think
Well,
what
you
you're
know.
doing... Yeah, that's right, yeah. I've got a few people to love.
You do,
So-
and many that love you. Don't forget
thank
that.
you. What would you say? Actually, you know what? We're going to hold this because I'm going to flip the direction a little bit. I'll just hold it there for a bit, guys. We are going to, take a bit of a pause on this morning. A lot of insight, a lot of words of challenge, a lot of words of encouragement, and I really do thank you, Georgia, for that. Just if you, as someone who's just sort of tuning in this morning, if you want to come back and you want to hear these words from Georgia, it will be available on the podcast at any time. It will be available on the replay for about 10 days at the Rhema CC website. So by all means, if you are going through stuff like this, if you're in a situation yourself that you're trying to grasp the reality of terminal illness.
Call me soon.
There you go, Georgia's on it. It's something you can refer back to. So anyway, guys, we'll take a bit of a break. We are going to have Greg Laurie on at about 8:30. I do that nearly every week. And I'll see you back before too long. All right, enjoy this song. See you soon. And welcome back on Sunday morning here at Rhema CC. Yes, it is Sunday, so wakey wakey if you're just getting out of bed now. I hope you're having an okay start to your day. Dust those sleepy eyes off. Try and pull yourself up out of bed and get ready for an awesome day. But if you happen to be someone like my friend Georgia, who's with me at the moment, who is in bed, who is not able to get up and do things like normal, we are thinking of you, we're praying for you, and know that you still have purpose. This morning I have been talking to Georgia about really kind of big life things, life stuff. And Georgia's wisdom has been phenomenal.
It's easy for you to say.
Yes, well, I don't know about that or not. I didn't quite say it too well. But yeah, her insight and wisdom this morning has been fantastic. Now, if you're just joining us, Georgia is someone who has been struggling with the realities of cancer, terminal illness for the last 2 years. And she has been through all sorts of things that I think she had never anticipated she would be. But she's a warrior. She's a pretty amazing lady, the way that she has just...
That's
taken on.
WARRIOR.
Well done. That's right, yes.
Not
warrior.
the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
I promise.
Well done. So we were talking previously about looking at the values of things that Georgia has, in hindsight, you know, she can look back and go, you know, well, it sounds like she's always nurtured friendships and family anyway. But to be able to get to the end and go, okay, you know, did we do that well? Have we done? Has this been these boxes?
Are we doing this? Am I doing this well?
You're doing
because
beautiful.
This may be
well.
the last thing I ever
Absolutely.
do for someone.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, and I'm so thankful we get to have like recorded. It's here. It's locked in. So absolutely. And that's it, isn't it, guys? I think it's living life to its fullest. And you're proving, Georgia, like I say every week to the listeners, I would talk about how important it is to, if you've got breath in your lungs, if you've got a heart that's still beating, that there is purpose.
There is.
Now, Georgia's laying here in front of me. I'm in her bedroom at the moment. We are pre-recording, so it's a pre-thing I've put together with her. And it's afternoon, so if I slip up and say afternoon, it is afternoon when I'm recording, but you guys will be hearing morning. And Georgia's just proving that. She's proving the fact that there is breath still in her lungs, there's still a heart that's beating, and there is still purpose. And that's awesome. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of that.
Oh, that's my pleasure.
What would you say is your greatest achievement in life?
Achievement?
Yeah.
I think it's my willingness to help other people.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful thing to have, and to really do it with joy in your heart. That's the other thing too.
And you do that. You really do. Georgia's one of these people who always has a smile on her face. Just doesn't matter the circumstance. It's probably not always felt. She's probably kind of going, yeah, I've got it together. But you would think that by meeting you, you've always got a big, beautiful smile on your face. She's a delight to be around. She's just, you're lovely.
I'll always be young, won't I? I'm not going to get
That's
any older.
exactly right. I'm like, she's a cool person. Like she's very cool. So I've lost that. I'm not that anymore. I'm just a mum.
No, you're gorgeous.
Shouldn't say just mum, but
no, that's a really important role.
Yeah, well, my kids think that because I like to get fed. So
no, I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Yeah, that's true. So, how are you currently feeling, or what are you currently feeling about life and death in the big broad thing?
In the big broad things, I think I've lived a really fabulous life. I have no regrets.
Good.
I don't know how many people can say that, but I absolutely do not have any regrets whatsoever.
Awesome.
I obviously am a bit sad that I have to go, but that's not my choice.
Yeah.
And it was never my choice to leave so early, because I feel I still have a lot of things I could do or I could have done.
Yeah.
And unless there's a miracle, I may still be doing them.
Yeah.
I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
But no, life's been awesome.
Good. I love that.
For me.
Yeah,
yes.
good.
And I hope I've made it the same for people that I've come into contact with as well.
Yeah. And I know, like, I've watched how you've cared for people, and you're right. Your willingness to serve and to love big is just honourable. So you've done it well.
Thank you.
From the outside watching, I'm like, you have done a beautiful job.
Thank you. I know you're always watching. It's frightening, actually.
Sorry about that. I'm intimidating. I'm watching. That's all right. I'm always watching my kids too. Don't necessarily want to see what they're doing. But anyway. Okay. What would you like us, listeners, to take away from today in regards to the gift of life?
Gift of life is to live it to the full, and I really do mean that.
Yeah.
And I know that now, of course, that I'm in this situation, but know it before you're in this situation.
Yeah, sure.
Live every day
Yeah.
like it is your last, because you don't know when that may be.
Yeah.
You may get one day some shocking news where, yesterday you were fabulous and today you're at death's door.
Yeah,
And nobody wants to get that news, so please.
Yeah.
Live it up.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, as you guys can probably gather, she's an amazing lady, as I said. I'm going to kind of close things up here, and I'll tie things up right at the end. I've got one more little sort of chatting box to chat to you guys. So I will just tie things up with Georgia here this morning, because I think the wisdom that she has shared with us is just phenomenal. And I'm going to go and really process it myself, and I'll be back before too long. So I'll see you guys. Be back, not too far off. All right, enjoy life. I'll be back soon. And welcome back, guys. That was Confession by Point 5. And I hope you're having a good day today. I'm Lindy. I'm your Sunday morning host here at Rhema CC. Rhema Central Coast. You can find us on 94.9. And you can certainly, which is what I have been doing a lot more of lately because we live so far away, go online. Online is a perfect way. You know, if you want to live stream what is happening here or look up what is happening throughout the week, you can kind of play things back and get a feel for what's been happening during the week. Give you a bit of background. I'm a coastie at heart, well and truly. We've been on the coast for 9.5 years really, but we've just recently moved. So feeling quite removed from a few different things just because of the demographics of, you know, living in different places. And I'm very much down the coast every chance I get. I'm there at least 3 or 4 times a week anyway. So I am amongst you guys still. I'm still very much a coastie in my day-to-day stuff. We are still very much involved with our church here on the coast. And yeah, we've been obviously in pastoral sort of stuff for that whole time. So we love being a part of the Christian family on the coast, and it's a beautiful place to really connect. So guys, make the most of that. Make the most of the truth that you have been given the blessing of living amongst a really fruitful Christian family in and around the coast, and get to know each other. Break down those barriers, get to know some different people from different denominations, and hear their story, because it is a powerful thing just to be able to listen sometimes. Now, that's actually a great place for me to kind of kick things off again this morning from what we've sort of covered already. So we have been talking to a really special lady this week. Now, it's a little bit of a different setting this part where I'm talking to you now, because what you would have heard was actually recorded one afternoon recently when I went and saw a friend called Georgia. She's a lovely lady. She's amazing. She's always had this oozing personality. She's a really cool lady. Let's just say that. She's, you know, you would think that she's definitely not in her 60s. She 30s maybe. But yeah, she's just got that really cool personality where you just go, I love being around you. You're fun, you're light, you're just this energy that's just, yeah, it's pretty special. So for this morning, we've actually heard this interview that I've had with her during one afternoon just recently. And Georgia, unfortunately, has been battling with cancer for the last 2 years. So she has experienced all sorts of things in the last 2 years. She's also a lady who has nursed 2 of her husbands in pretty horrible situations herself. So she's seen the reality of being ill, and she has lived it to the full in response to that. And honestly, as I said, by personality, she's just amazing anyway. But her approach to death, and the fact that she knows that her days are numbered. And I think that's one thing that we can all take away from this morning, that it doesn't matter if we've got, you know, another 70 years, if 70, 80, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's that or if it's a few months. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that we can't escape. It is what she said actually several times in the interview. It can be quite confronting, because there is that reality that we all have to process the truth that there is in our life, in our physical, our biological life, there is a beginning and there is an end. But there is so much hope beyond that when we have a faith. Our faith in Jesus, and the truth that He is the way. He is the way that we can have a relationship with God, and He makes it very clear time and time again through Scripture that He is the way, He is the truth, He is the life, He is the bread of life. These are specific things and specific words that are used, that come even from His own mouth, to reference how we can have a relationship with God that entails a relationship that lasts beyond a physical and biological lifetime. And that's the spiritual realm. That's that part of things, you know, that's the stuff that a lot of people can't quite explain, because it's just like, okay, well, life's over. And atheism is obviously one of those situations, or one of those philosophies, or those thoughts or theories that, you know, that's it, that's the end. But I think, if anything, if I go back to the fact that we're talking about testimonies, and looking at Georgia as she just laid there on her bed that afternoon, she's so peaceful. There was this beautiful peace about her. I actually described it to my husband. I said she looked like a little girl. It was just this innocence in her face. It was this peace and this calm. And I know it's not all like that. I know we started the interview by her talking about the fact that she was holding vomit bags just in case, because she just didn't know what was going to come next. So I know that physically that's not what, she was prepared for throughout our interview. She was prepared for things to not go well. But in terms of her, she had this beautiful peace about her. And I want to encourage you guys to think about it. There might be someone that you're concerned with or worried about at the moment who is in a similar situation to Georgia. Maybe you are. Maybe you're looking at these numbered days and thinking, what else? What goes beyond here? And I can promise you now that you have a God who loves you through it. And he's sitting in this moment with you. He's not too far away. Prayer is going to be a big part of you connecting with that truth. And while there is breath in your lungs and that heart is still beating, there is an opportunity to come to him, to recognize the path you've taken. You may have made some really silly choices. God only knows how many silly choices I've made. It makes us human. We do some silly things sometimes. There may be lots of regrets. There may be things in your lifetime that you look back and you think, I wish I had done that differently. But I can assure you again that being prepared to recognize that, being prepared to lay it at the feet of Jesus. And when I say that, that sounds very Christian. I don't mean to sound very Christian in my language, because I know that can be a bit confronting. But when we say lay it at the feet of Jesus, we just mean we're just going to give it over to him. We are recognizing that he is there. He's the Bible tells us time and time again of his life, his story, the fact that he has given us his Holy Spirit, and that is something that we today can still cling to. So when we pray, we can speak to the Holy Spirit. I'm trying to stay on track because it's a huge way to sort of explore everything. But what I just want to assure you that there is still an opportunity. If there is, time ticking and you don't feel like you've got things right, this is an opportunity to get those things right. And it doesn't take much. It just takes a moment of recognition of where you've been, the struggles you've had. You might still have resentment towards the people or the things that have happened to you. That might be an aspect that you need to leave before God and just go, I don't know how to deal with this, but I want to close things off peacefully. Prayer is it's a massive component of all of this, guys. And as I said, recognition is a part of it. It's asking God to just get rid of that stuff, to just, it's about forgiveness. So it is recognizing, okay, I've messed up, I've done the wrong thing. God, I want to start again, and can you just wipe the slate clean? I just want to see that mess just gone, and I just want to be able to just live in the time that I do have with the truth that you and I go beyond what happens here in this physical realm, in this worldly sense. And if you have just thought just now as I'm talking, if you've kind of been confronted with that, I really urge you to get in touch with any of the pastors on the coast and get that support that you need. And not even just from a spiritual perspective. That is a big part of it, obviously, but just to know you've got a community behind you. Yeah. But I also want to encourage you guys to be taking from Georgia's story the hope and the truth and the light and the energy and the wisdom that she has shared with us this morning, which is make the most of every day, every single day. Live full today, and not at the end of your life where you suddenly go, oh, quick, I've got to do this. That's the encouragement she left with us. I want to urge you guys, life is a gift, and I want to urge you to just grab hold and just live it to your absolute full. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I know I've been waffling in this little part a bit too much, but hey, it has been a huge week. It's been a huge opportunity to spend some time with someone who's being very real, very raw, very, very honest about where she's at. Life is ticking away, and it's ticking away very, very fast for her. Keep her in your prayers. She's a special lady. And thank you, Georgia. Thank you for giving your heart and sharing your wisdom and your insight. And thanks for just reminding us how important every day is. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to see you here next week. We are going to do more talking about the whole life stuff and taking a bit of a different turn next week. So it's going to be interesting. So I hope you can catch me here next Sunday from 7 a.m. I'll be around, and I will see you guys then. Have an awesome week and be blessed. See you guys.